I don't care. Sonny without Cher. You know what? 100 men versus the Bear. Lakers in 5. That's what Shannon Sharp told us. But unfortunately, not so fast. That's not how this actually worked out. The Lakers are done. They are out of the playoffs. This is ridiculous, but also a little bit hilarious. And as a Laker fan, I'm just being honest with you guys. If this is one step closer to LeBron James no longer being on my team, I'll take it. I have been trying to get rid of this man for the longest time. Unfortunately, I have no power. And that's just the way it is. I'm not a billionaire or a millionaire. I wasn't born really, really tall, so I can't pull any strings and, pull myself up out the hood. So I just have to sit back and relax and watch it like everybody else. But before that, hola, tudo bem, konnichiwa, como estás? Aloha. Hello. What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast, and back to what we were just talking about. But actually, you know what? Let me put a pin in that again. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment. And even if you don't love everything that we are talking about and doing on this channel, you can still help a brother out. Please feel free to help a brother out, because we're trying to grow the channel, and I think we have some great content, excuse me. But back to what I was saying. So I would love for this to be the last time LeBron James ever puts on a Lakers uniform, but unfortunately I'm not Genie Bus, so we'll see what happens with that. Overall, this series was very interesting, to say the least, and the Lakers essentially got beat in a gentleman's sweep. As far as last night's game goes, the Lakers had every opportunity to win this game. Luka was hitting some crazy shots at different points in the game. They doubled him and took the ball out of his hands. LeBron wasn't shooting particularly well last night either. He did make 1 3 to bring it a little closer, like towards the end of the game. But ultimately, he flailed out and couldn't finish. He just looked like he was in a fog all night. And like I said, Luka hit some crazy shots, but other than that, the Lakers really struggled. And one of the reasons is because they had to play against Rudy, Hakeem, O'Neal, Jabbar, who the normal super basically, Rudy Gobert went Super Saiyan 5 or Super Saiyan Blue. In fact, Super Saiyan Ultimate last night because they took out Jackson Hayes. And the man just went wild, finished with 27 points, 14 boards. Honestly, nobody else really played that good for the Wolves. And Edwards was not good last night, which is why it's even more crazy that the Lakers won. He wasn't that good. He was 5 for 19, 15 points, 0 for 11 from 3. Now, he did have 8 dimes and 11 boards, which I respect, because that means you're doing the best that you can to play the game all around, even if your shot's not falling. So, amen to you, brother. But McDaniels was in foul trouble all night. He really didn't get it going. Randall was in foul trouble for parts of the night, and that slowed him down at first. He only played 32 minutes, but Randall closed out the fourth quarter, had like 11 points in the fourth. 23 points overall in the game. 3 turnovers, 4 assists, 5 boards. He was 1 for 6 from 3, so he wasn't that good. Ant-Man was 0 for 11 from 3. Mike Conley made some big threes, but he was really only 2 for 6, only had 8 points. So, realistically, it wasn't even Naz Reid. DiVincenzo wasn't good last night. Nickeil Alexander wasn't really that good either last night. But they still managed to win, and that tells you something about this team. This is a gritty, hungry team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we'll see what happens as the playoffs continues, but this is a hungry team. Now, if you look at the Lakers, first of all, J.J. Redick is a wild meerkat on the plains of Savannah Highlands. What the heck are you doing? He takes out Jackson Hayes, and Rudy Gobert turns into Rudy, Hakeem, O'Neal, Jabbar out there. Then in the game before, he didn't play his bench in the second half. Basically like, y'all ninjas is trash, so ain't none of you playing. Which is crazy, because then down the stretch, LeBron and Luka are so tired they can't finish the game, because that was a close game. Or they had their moments where they could have kept it close, excuse me. This game was the same way. It just looked like they were in a fog. They trapped Luka, and LeBron just didn't get it done. He just shot wasn't falling the way he likes it to, and they just ended up losing. So, ultimately, it was a very good game. It was a close series, even though they lost 4-1. It actually was a lot closer than the records. But that seems to be the calling card for LeBron James led teams at this point. We sit here, we make excuses for everybody else, but ultimately, LeBron has chances to close in a lot of these moments. The problem is he's not Kobe Bryant. You give Kobe some of the chances that LeBron has had with Luka, with Anthony Davis, I believe he's sealing these deals. LeBron is just not closing the deals. Now, Luka's on the team too, so you could say, oh, well, Luka's not closing. But, I mean, like I said, a lot of times they're doubling Luka. We're all aware of the shot-making capabilities of Luka Doncic. So the last thing you want to do is give him the ability to get a good shot. So you'd rather give it to LeBron, who, like T-Mac said, is not the best ISO player. And you go from there and see what happens. And they did that, and it worked out in their favor. So the Lakers, essentially, I mean, they really didn't play that well either. The whole night was a struggle fest. The Timberwolves really struggled to shoot the three at all. And they still managed to walk away with a win, which is crazy. Dorian Finney-Smith has 7 points. He was 1 for 3 from the 3 line, 3 for 5 from the field. Rui was on fire. He was 5 for 8 from the 3, 23 points. Outmatched at the center position, though, by Rudy, Hakeem, O'Neal, Jabbar. Then you had LeBron had 22, but he was 9 for 21 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, 3 for 6 from the free throw line. Also had 6 dimes, 7 boards. Also had 3 turnovers. He was a minus 14 for the game, which is that the worst? Yes. He has the worst. He had the worst plus minus of any player that stepped on the court. Let me just see if it was for the other team too. Was he the worst? Yes. And it's pretty bad, yeah. Rui was minus 12 also, which is funny. I don't know how they calculate this because Rui was actually the only person making shots. Luka Doncic, for those LeBron James fanboys out there that still want to blame Luka Doncic for everything, still had 28, led the team in scoring in the entire series. He still had 9 assists and 7 boards, and was still doing his thing. He was 2 for 8 from 3, though, not very good, 7 for 18 from the field, which is not that great, and then 12 for 15 from the free throw line, which is good for him. But at the end of the day, the Lakers were a hot B2B, all right? Belt to buttocks, that's what they got. Hot mess of B2B, belt to buttocks, by the Timberwolves. And, you know, this is what it is. I saw this coming. I knew that they were going to, at some point, catch up to them and put the pause on them because the Lakers just looked tired and it looked like the Timberwolves have mastered them, like they figured out how to slow them down. And the Lakers had it. They were right there. And they just couldn't close it. They just couldn't put their full stamp on it. And it seems like this is what seems to be happening for LeBron James-led teams. They're not completely bad, but they can't close. And Luka last year went to the finals. Was beating down this very team. But now with a different roster, the Lakers roster, he couldn't take advantage of it. I don't think his game, like he lost anything or lost a step. I just think he couldn't take advantage of it with LeBron James on his team. Neither are great defenders. Both like to have the ball. It just becomes a lot, right? And Austin Reeves didn't play well either. He was 2 for 10 from the 3. So the 3 ball has not been dropping for Austin Reeves the last couple of games. So it's just been a hot mess for the Lakers since the 2020 bubble. It continues. There's a lot of losing, not a lot of winning. Doesn't matter who's there. Doesn't matter if it's AD or Luka. Which leads me to believe that, honestly, the problem is probably LeBron in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully soon they will move on from him and just focus on Luka. Because Luka definitely has the juice. He can make some crazy shots out of nowhere. So, honestly, like I said, this is the game. This is just what happened. Final score was 103-96. Timberwolves, man. And Ant Edwards was talking his trash because he's like, listen, y'all said we weren't going to be here, but we're here. And we won. And so, you know, what does this say about the Lakers? I think you need to build around Luka. I think you don't need to worry about LeBron. He's got to be on his way out at some point. We need to keep this thing going in the future. You need to do whatever it takes to make Luka happy and get the players around Luka that would help him to get to a championship. I think the Kings' days are done. They've always been done, in my opinion, but who am I? I don't get to make all the rules. So, Again, we have the Wolves moving on. The Lakers are going home. It's a gentleman's sweep. It was a lot closer than that sweep, but, you know, it is what it is. The final score is what matters. So, with that said, I don't think there's much else to be said about this series. So, thank you very much for your kindness and your humble ability to listen and be patient and listen through the entire video if you were able to do so. I appreciate you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe and comment. Let's get the activity going up around here. Let's debate. Let's have conversations. Let's make it like a barbershop. Also, don't click off immediately because there's some other suggested videos that I know you will love. So I greatly appreciate the time. I wish you the best. Very humble. Much love. That somehow you never get over leaving